Hey everybody! So in this video we are going to be talking about denial and how denial affects people with DID and OSDD1 who have amnesia. Now, amnesia means that you're unable to remember things, and for DID and certain types of OSDD1, specifically OSDD1A, you can't remember things. Usually it's specifically trauma, but it can also be other life events when a different system member was the one fronting in the body. And because you can also have what we like to call amnesia of your amnesia, meaning that you don't remember that you've forgotten anything or that you've missed anything until something makes you aware of that fact, it can be very, very easy to fall into denial. To think that, oh, I must be faking this because, I don't look like this other person's presentation of DID or OSDD. Just remember that DID and OSDD are trauma created. The brain is trying to protect you from facing that trauma, and denial is part of that. So if you acknowledge the trauma, then the dissociation is no longer doing its job. So denial kicks in. And this is a completely normal experience. And more often than not, if you are concerned that you are faking, then you probably aren't. Because if you are faking, you would have some conscious awareness of this. You would know. And if a person were to have something like, say, factitious disorder or malingering or some other mental health condition that was causing them to believe that they had DID or OSDD when they did not, which admittedly can happen but is rarer, this person is still suffering from a mental illness. This person is still disordered, and this person still needs help. So it's not the same thing as someone who's, say, faking it for attention, like people like to bring up every so often. So if you're concerned that you're faking it, the likelihood is that you're not. And it's normal to worry that you are, because denial of the dissociation, denial of the reason for the dissociation, i.e. trauma, and denial of the symptoms of DID or OSDD is normal. Most people with DID or OSDD will at some point deal with denial. And there are ways to deal with this when it happens. Be kind to yourself. Remind yourself of all of the different things that you've experienced that show that you're not faking. Talk to your therapist. Talk to a trusted friend who knows about your DID or OSDD. Talk to someone who can help you work through those feelings of denial. Talk to your system mates, because it's pretty hard to deny they exist when they talk back. Whether that is in internal words or in writing, it's very hard to deny that this is a thing when they're communicating back to you. So just remember to be gentle with yourself if you're facing feelings of denial. It's very normal. A lot of people experience these feelings quite often, and it does not mean you're faking. If a person is faking just for attention, like people like to accuse people of, then they would know they were doing it. If a person mistakenly believes that they have DID or OSDD because of some other disorder, they still need help. And they are no less valid. They were just mistaken. That is why professional diagnosis is a good idea. Because that way you can know for sure, and if you're not 100% sure of one diagnosis, it's always okay to get a second, even a third opinion. There's never anything wrong with double or triple checking to make sure. But once you have a solid diagnosis that you and your healthcare team are sure is the right one, it can really help you to manage your symptoms. Because the multiplicity inherent in DID and OSDD is not the problem. It's the PTSD, it's the flashbacks, it's the body memories, it's the nightmares, it's the dissociation that becomes disordered. All of these things are the difficult part. The multiplicity is a byproduct of the dissociation. It's not disordered in and of itself. So that's why it's so important to be gentle with yourself if you're in denial. Because the harder you push, the more you're going to alienate certain members of your system and probably offend some of them if you're telling them that they're not real when they're talking to you. So just remember to be gentle with yourself and not accuse anyone of anything. And remember, if your system mates are communicating with you, that right there is a really good indication that you're not faking. If you've had several professionals diagnose you, that is a really good indication that you are actually experiencing DID or OSDD. You are real, you are valid, and you matter. So just remember, denial is common. Denial is a normal experience for many people with DID and OSDD. You can get through this when you are in denial, and it's going to be okay eventually. It may not happen right away. It may take time. It may take some extra work with your therapist. If there is any sort of danger for you in that moment, it may require some hospitalization. But just remember, you and your system mates can get through this. Denial does not mean you're faking. Denial is just a symptom of trying to block out the trauma. Alright everybody, well, we hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Have a good day everybody.